of us.
Great.
9 now.
I think we could probably get started since it's recording.
So we'll get started. Good evening, everyone. My name is Khurshid Bilgrami, also known as KB, and I'm the Capital Projects Manager in the Sidewalk section. And tonight we are going to talk about Caroline Avenue, the proposed sidewalk. Before we begin, uh, can you guys hear me and see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So the proposed sidewalk and stormwater management, that's what the discussion is for tonight. And I think all the residents on the Caroline Avenue know so far that the proposal is, the MCDOT's proposal is to construct a 5 foot wide sidewalk. And I think the drawings that all the residents may have received has was indicating a 3 foot green buffer and a 5 foot sidewalk, which is our standard practice. And in front of the slide also has a photo. It's one of the location in Silver Spring in the residential neighborhood where we have installed a sidewalk with 3 foot grass buffer. And let's admit there is someone there. Okay, so we have constructed this, and just to represent how it looks like. In the photo, you will see the on-street parking, 5 foot sidewalk, 3 foot buffer space. As you can see here in the photo, the driveway apron was reconstructed by Montgomery County, MCDOT, and then you tie back into the grade and all that. This is all the walkway here at the bottom of the photo, and then a driveway apron in kind of like in the middle of the photo. Those are all will be done by MCDOT, us, the sidewalk team. Whenever we build a sidewalk, we'll just redo the part of the steps, the walkways, and the driveway aprons. Um, so with that said, let me go to the next slide. Okay, so the next slide is why we have this meeting, because I was informed by Lori that the community has concerns about the sidewalks. They have the perception that often shed rainwater onto adjacent land, and then there is uncontrolled runoff causes pooling and erosion in the front lawns, and then the residents are seeking a solution to direct the rainwater or the storm water into the street inlets. The good news is, I know this is an old roadway infrastructure around this area, but Caroline Avenue does have inlets in that length on the west side. So which is good news. So with that, these are the problem statements. And then if you have more issues with the design, or if you want to state a problem now, please feel free to do so. Does the things, which three things written in color, is that what we are discussing tonight, right? We are trying to find solutions for it.
That's definitely part of it. I think it isn't just like to these couple of things. We've mentioned that a lot of our neighbors have had to do custom rainwater management, so the storm drains aren't actually working efficiently. Concern about rainwater harvesting and loss of plants that we've put up to improve the value of the environment and our neighborhood come to mind. The idea that sidewalks help bikes, as someone who bikes a lot, that is actually really not true. We get yelled at all the time for biking on sidewalks, and it's not great for the people walking there. So there's some questions around the positioning of that. I don't know, looking to the rest of our group here to see what else might be coming up.
Yeah, this is Kim Mushino at 9318 Caroline. And we don't see a need for a sidewalk on this part of Caroline. I've been living here for 22 years. and everybody, walks down the street without any, there's never been any safety issue as long as I've been here. Families can walk, ride their bikes, have their dogs, and it's such a quiet street. It's almost like a cul-de-sac because it doesn't go through. It ends at the park with the apartments. And most people don't. There's not a lot of traffic on this street. So I don't understand why it was proposed in the first place. I don't know anybody on
So
this street that wants it.
I can
this,
explain that.
Dalia.
One of your neighbors, somebody in your community requested a sidewalk. It was prioritized, and let's see, it rated 95 out of a possible 100 points because there has been one or more vehicle collisions with either cyclists or pedestrians. So that's why it got such a high rating. It's also in an equity emphasis area. And there's a great many pedestrian trip generators within a 1 mile radius. So that's why it got proposed. But
So,
we're
no,
mainly here to help alleviate some concerns that you might have about the sidewalks. You can provide comments. This is not a formal structure for comments. You can provide your comments. You can email me, and you can also put your comments in the comment form. And
also
if we
website, yeah.
need to move the date, well, it's through May 13th, so you'll still have a few weeks after tonight's meeting to submit those comments. But we're mainly here to talk about concerns. If the sidewalks are approved, what are you the most concerned about?
I think when we started this, we sent multiple letters explaining in detail about the problems. I'm assuming you've read all those.
Mhm.
And I think what Kim said about not having much traffic on the street makes a good point that, why do we need the sidewalk? And you talked about the storm drains. The challenge is the water bypasses the storm drains. It doesn't necessarily go into them. And I created my own little dam with some cinder blocks because I couldn't get the county to do anything about it. So I'm just not convinced that the sidewalks are not going to make our problem worse. And I know you said you don't have the money isn't I understand how government works. You have pots of money allocated for specific projects and they can't mingle. I worked for the state for a long time. I'm just afraid that it's being done so separately, and flooding is a big problem here. And I think that's the priority over the sidewalk. And I don't want the sidewalk to make the problem worse, which you need to
Okay.
convince me otherwise that it won't.
I will explain
Yeah,
in the
let's
slides
redo the presentation.
to see what problems the community has. I have the entire street scanned and I have the grades in front of each house.
Okay.
So just listen to me, please. And then after that, at the end of I mean, I have like 10 slides. So I'll go through that quickly and then we will interact, we will discuss. So I will present each home what the grades are. I'll tell you in a nutshell, except the first two properties from Franklin. Most of the properties are to the road grade. Only the two properties at the beginning are sitting higher up. So the water, everything is draining down towards the roadway. Otherwise, as you go close to the park, travel south on the street, I know it's all flat, and then some of the properties are even have like slightly lower grade than the roadway. I have a
Mm-hmm.
profile. Just give me 1 second. So let's go to number three, like I was mentioning. So now the orange boxes, I will try to increase the slide size slightly so that we could discuss each property. Okay, so this is Franklin on the top, and this is house number 200. Are you guys with me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is 200 and this is 9330. Let's start with that. So the plus marks, the yellow plus marks which you see are the places where the actually the grade, that means the level was short. So that will give you in comparison the property as you go towards the right of way line, is it higher, is it lower? So, where the runoff is, obviously, we all know that the water is going to flow towards the low area, right? So, with that, house number 200, right at the right of way line, it's 277.2 feet elevation. And then at the edge, close to the pavement, to the roadway, it's 276.7. So obviously, this the right of way is where the right of way line is. It's at a higher grade than the roadway, which is good news. Then the water, we expect the water to, and of course, when this sidewalk here, do you guys see my cursor when I move around?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so
Yes.
when a sidewalk is being built here, our intent is to have the slope towards the roadway, not towards the properties, towards the roadway, towards curb and gutter. I know the street has a asphalt curb which is not in good shape, and it doesn't have a gutter pan, and the water is not going to get into the inlets, and the inlet locations are also very old design standard. They are like inside the curb and all that. So with the new system, whenever county MCDOT does a sidewalk project, we try to fix we try to fix the curb and gutter. We install curb and gutter with a flow, and then if the inlet mouths they are like kinked inside like the old design, we try to bring that up so that entire curb and gutter water goes in it to the flow line. I will get to that later. I'll share some photos. Let's go through property. It's very interesting what happened. So this 9330, close to the house, the elevation is 276.2. At the right of way line, 273.6. So obviously the house is slightly higher than that. And then the elevation close to the street, very close to the street, is 273.8. So that's 276.8, 276.8. It's only zero point 0.2 difference. So it's kind of like flatter from the right of way line to the edge of the street. And then next one here, let's go to the next slide. And then here, it's 270.8 and 271.3. What that means is,
Sorry, you skipped my house.
oh,
So it was
sorry.
just after the last one you talked to. You'd think you were zoomed in, so you didn't see it.
Okay, here, right? 99328?
Yep.
Yeah, it's 271.8 is the right of way line here, and then I think I may have captured in the and then 270.3. So obviously I would say it's almost like flatter or even
I mean,
yeah, I mean a
it's
point
not because all
five.
the water drains to the property line. So that foot of difference does, or that half a foot of difference does make
Yeah,
a
that
difference.
there is. And then as you go south, it's getting worse. I completely agree with you. And the next house, 9322, at the right of a line, it's 270.4 feet elevation. And as you get from the property towards the roadway, it's 270.6. So obviously the grade here at the right of a line is lower than at the roadway. So the water, you might have problems in the front lawn with the water pooling, or since I heard at the beginning of the meeting that you guys have constructed block thing and created your own small rain gardens and all that. So you were actually seeking solutions to encounter that, which I completely agree. And then the next house is 9320, close to the house 270.5. The elevation here at the driveway is 270.4, almost flat. And then here at the landscaping, where the bushes are, and it's 269.7. So it's slightly, I would say, almost like level. But again, if there is like a elevation difference of even point 0.1 and point 0.2, then you have water retaining in the yard. I agree with that. Let's go to the next slide. And then comes the house 9314. Close to the house, it's 266.8, and then 267.3. And as it goes close to the roadway, beyond the steps, close to the pavement, is 267.4. So 268 and 267.4. Even though the home slightly have maybe have steps, one or two steps, it's sit higher up, but the front lawn where the steps are and all that, if you compare that, it 267.3 versus 267.4, it's merely flat. So with nothing here, I think most of the storm water has to be contained in the yard, however you guys are handling. Or if it like rains heavy with that flatter surface, it may go over the asphalt curb into the roadway. I don't know how that is
Yeah, actually,
happening.
the people that own that house aren't here. They're out of the country at the moment. But
Okay.
their house floods, particularly if you're looking at the house on the right-hand side,
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
water will accumulate there. Like I've seen it a foot deep. And
Wow.
she
Yeah.
put in some quite elaborate drainage system
Mhm.
on their
Now,
own at the end of the
can you
driveway.
explain me? Can you explain my bearings? The house on the right means like on the east side, which is 9315, you
No,
said?
I'm sorry. If the house that
9314.
we're talking about, yeah. Oh, I'm saying on
Okay.
the right side of on their drive,
Oh, this property.
the
Okay,
right
okay.
side of their house.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So yeah, that's 268 and here it's 268.3, so it's almost, you are right. If there are like dense trees and all that, so it's the water is remains on the property,
Mhm.
how big of a storm it is, and then it's not flowing onto the roadway or going into the inlets. I agree with that.
Well, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to take over here, but the house across the street from them has a very
Yeah.
steep driveway, and the water comes down that driveway like a waterfall and goes directly to their house. So it's more than
Oh,
just
so
what goes down
the
Caroline.
so the storm water, the house across the street, which is this one, the water flows out from their steep driveway back into
Right to
their
their
the owner who sits right across from them into their property like that.
right.
Yep.
And
Mine becomes a pool,
Yeah. No, no,
a
Mine too.
I
small
completely
pond.
understand. So this here, 9312. 9312, right at the Radolfi line, I would say like three-fourths of the yard here. The elevation is 265.3, and then as you get close to the pavement is 266. Again, it's flatter. Again, it's I mean it's point 0.3. It's like 2-3 inch different with a rough surface with plants and grass and all that. I would call it like flat. And then if there are undulations and all that, the water is going to puddle. I
yeah,
completely
it's
agree.
a
That is
flat.
why I said I agree with that.
It's shaped like a bowl. It's
Yeah.
more than flat. It's a bowl shape. That's my
See,
house.
then you will have seriously pooling issue.
Hmm.
Yeah, I agree. And then the corner property. The corner property, I have taken many grades here. Right here, it's 262. And here, the elevation close to the home is 261.9. And then right here at the edge is 261. Let's see what is close to the roadway, 264. So this could be higher, but again, it's nothing. It's 261. And then here, it's 260.8. So
I think you missed the house before that one.
this one here, yeah, it's 264.4, and then close to the roadway, it's 264.9. There is zero point 0.5, it's like 5-6 inches, which means nothing. So this is the problem we have on our hand. And then, so the last grade here, 260.8. So these are the elevations at the property. But let's see again, starting from beginning, what is happening to the road profile. We are just assessing the existing condition right now. So this is Franklin up here, house number 200, 9331, 122. You guys are with me on this. And
Yes.
then this is the road, which is Caroline Avenue. What is happening? So I did a line and then I have, so up till here at this point at River Place, up to that point, it's almost like 300 feet or something. It's negative sloping, so it's downhill it's minus 4.2% up to that point. And then from River Place, we continue on Carolyn Avenue down south to the next slide up till like the road slightly kind of curves on the right, going towards the park. The slope is minus negative 1.1%. So again, we are going downhill. And then from
Well,
that point up to the bend, the slight turn here, it's again minus 3.3% slope, which is almost like 1.9 feet drop. So the entire roadway from Franklin all the way where that U is, the park and all that, it's all downhill. And then there are, I think, two inlet locations where I can devote the stormwater management. This is the condition of the existing street on top of the descriptions what you have told me, the grades and all that. So let's see what we are proposing and what will happen. The sidewalk, you guys have all seen the plan, a 3 foot grass buffer and a 5 foot sidewalk. But if there is a serious issue about pooling and all that in the yard, I would say that because it's a low volume street and the traffic is bare minimum, as someone before the meeting already explained, I completely agree with that. So what we do is when we construct this 5 foot sidewalk if you see my cursor moving, we provide a 2% slope. And then if we get rid of that 3 foot buffer space, the grass buffer space, and build a new concrete curb and a gutter pan, then the entire thingy which Montgomery County is constructed will go down like that. So the maximum cross slope is like 2%. And then if there is a ramp, I know we don't have a crossing street. The entire property is that one which we are talking about. There is a crossing street across the street on the east side, but not on the west side. So this part doesn't apply to us because this is like maximum. We give like 8.3% slope when you bring the people down at the road grade. But we are just going to use this part now, the 2% side slope of the sidewalk towards the roadway. Now, the next one. So how it's going to look like? Okay, let me again. Please. So the sidewalk, like I said, the photo, the one which you see on the screen, um, there is no grass buffer, which I just mentioned. So this is like 2% slope this way. And then if you get rid of that asphalt curb and gutter and install a nice concrete sidewalk with a gutter pan, and then the gutter pan always follows the slope of the roadway. Remember when we checked the vertical profile of the roadway from Franklin towards the park from that U, it was all negative. So that is why I indicated the arrow going south like that. So now at locations, you have like inlets way back inside for some reason. So the storm water is not getting inside the inlet. So we probably need to extend that slab, bring the gutter pan so that all this water at least get on the gutter pan, get inside that inlet. So install 5 foot sidewalk, slope 2% towards the roadway, integrate curb and gutter to channel flow along the pavement, use the street inlets, which are, I think, two of them. And then I'm not counting the one at the U where the water is going into the park. There's a area where the water drains because of the street is like all sloped towards it. So I'm talking about the inlets. So the ones which are like kinked in inside could have a flatter top slab put up on it, and then we bring the gutter pan straight through into the inlet like that. So that's all done as part of the sidewalk construction, and we have done at many locations.
Excuse me a minute. Can you tell me how high that curb is? Like, what's the rise of the curb?
At places we have installed 6, and it could be 7 also. 6 inches typical.
Okay, I'm just wondering if that's enough.
Now,
So like
with this,
you guys
if
did
we
this
install the
sidewalk
curb,
thing.
it may solve the problem, the one which you just mentioned, that the neighbor across the street has a steep driveway, the property sits higher up, and their water is rushing, going across the street to the neighbor across, and all
Well,
that.
it goes through
That
the curb cut, so that's not gonna
no, I mean, we'll make
help.
sure we'll not have curb cuts. There will be a uniform curb and gutter, which you see on the screen right
No, I
now.
said
The
her
water will hit
driveway.
there, and then also you have that
Both
pan.
spots.
See, the asphalt right now is all crumbling, right? It's a rough surface. So the once the water hits that face of the curb, you have a gutter pan of almost like 18 inches. It will just take the water, and the water will follow the
Well, the
profile.
current curb was built a little higher than a standard curb. I don't know exactly. It looks. How high do you guys think it is? Maybe 8 inches.
So 7 inches is the maximum,
Yeah.
but
Well, ours
yeah,
was not standard. They specially made it higher to deal with the water.
with the water, yeah. We don't do asphalt curb anymore. I mean, river curb. I mean, these
Will
are
they make improvements to the asphalt, Kershid?
not part of the sidewalk, but if there is a serious issue with the asphalt and all that, we go back and report to the Division of Highway Services. Our inspectors do call them immediately that, hey, this pavement is in shambles. You need to come and at
Yeah,
least
our
do
street is
patches.
pretty bad. A couple summers ago, every street got repaved except for ours for some reason, and it looks pretty
Did
bad.
you follow up with Division of Highway Services
I
as a
called
group
someone. I
or
never
as a
get anyone
resident?
to respond to me when I make a request, so I don't know.
Yeah, so
How we gave
we'll
up.
talk about that,
Okay.
the pavement maintenance, but let's continue with this.
May
So,
I'm sorry, may I interject for one moment? I've
sure,
been on the
sure.
call, but I haven't been able to get on. So I've heard you so far. I'm at 9315. I'm on the other side, pardon me, of that driveway
Yeah.
where the water sloops down very quickly. I'm on the hill. There are two,
Can I pull up your house if you give me 1 minute?
yes, 9315.
9315. Let's see.
Correct. I've been here for 33 years. And I have seen many, many floods come down through the driveways, and everything that has been said is a concern. Curbs are not high enough. The water flows so quickly that Wire Avenue behind us, the
Yeah.
water comes down through our backyards, actually floods our houses at time, and then continues to go down into Caroline Avenue. So it's a very fast force flood, if you will. So it's the whole thing with the sidewalk, and I understand this slant. I've done a
Oh,
building
yeah.
development, I've done stormwater, and I've done roads.
Yeah.
But this goes so quickly that a sidewalk is not going to stop it. In fact, it's going to have it flow faster, even with a slope going the opposite direction, because the flow is way too fast. So you say, okay, maybe the sidewalks may curtail it, but if it doesn't, you've got three houses that are flooded, and they continually flood, and all the neighbors have seriously tried to mitigate the situation, and I do not see that this sidewalk is going to help with any kind of mitigation.
No, I'm not saying that the photos where I was, let me jump back here. No, if I install a sidewalk, 5 foot wide sidewalk with a 2% slope and a nice curb and gutter, and then bring the mouth of the inlets in alignment with my curb and gutter, it's going to solve the entire neighborhood's flooding and all that. No, no, no. What I'm saying is we will try to solve the best as we can with these remedial measures. But again, you're right. I'm not doing anything on the east. And the water is gushing out from the neighbor right across from the house. I'm not going to stop that because that steep driveway is going to remain where it is. However, at the receiving end, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build this small concrete wall with a nice gutter pan so that the water at least goes to the inlet and bring the mouth of the inlet in alignment with my gutter pan. That's all I could do. What else can I do?
So
What else can I do
are you
is in the next
convinced?
slide. What else
You're
can I do
convinced
is
that
the
it
next
won't.
slide.
Are you convinced that it won't make it worse? That's what I want to hear.
I
I
mean,
want to make sure it's not going to be
it's
worse.
imaginary. You guys tell me. We'll discuss at the end. But let's see what else can I do first. Okay, this is where the issue is, right? The alternates for improvement.
Or now.
Now,
Yeah, that's what we want.
this is the proposed sidewalk. of course, slope towards the roadway, as you have seen in my previous slide. Let me go to it again. Oh, I mean, you have seen it, 2% towards the roadway. And then this is the place where your front yards are. Do you see my cursor moving?
Yeah.
Which you have some serious issues with pooling and all that. So, in order to prevent that, since I have like at least in this length of the street, two inlets, which I am bringing the mouth forward to match with my gutter pan, we can try to put this trench drain, take all that water, right, back into the inlets, into our bays, like that. So the trench drain, it follows again the profile of the sidewalk, which follows the profile of the street, which I have explained it how the slope is going towards the park, starting from Franklin. So it's going to follow the same thing. And then wherever there is an inlet, that's where all the trench is going to get connected. That's solution number one, alternate number one for improvement. Number two, going back to the design which have received in the mail, the 3-foot grass buffer and a 5-foot sidewalk. Now, suppose you see this 3-foot wide buffer and a 5-foot sidewalk going on this street. So what this is it's a pocket swale. It's just 3 or 4 feet wide. We can it's mostly like in the photo it looks like 4, but in our design it's 3. But you have done this block and then it's like a small rain garden and the bleeders are cut in it. The sidewalk is sloped 2% towards it, and all that water get into this, and neighborhood can do some beautification, put some plantings and all that. And also, if it overflows, then there are cutouts. Again, it follows the street profile towards the park from the gutter pan going back into the onlets. So these are some of the things that can be done as part of the sidewalk. Now, you might arrive that, hey, listen, our neighborhood has some serious issues. Can you do both? You could ask, can you do both? Can you do these, the pocket swell, as well as these
Yes.
here, trench drain? That may be a remedial situation.
Yeah, I mean, this is the kind of thing I think we wanted to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So these are some alternates for drainage improvement. Drainage grate capturing runoff, trench drain, and swale capturing runoff with these bleeders 1, 2, 3, 4. You decide about the length. Choose the lowest parts and build 2, 3 of them, and then from this pocket swale, cut again the bleeders in case it overflows heavy storm, and then it gets on the gutter pan and then goes back like that. So these are the things. So like I said, these are again we have our limitations because this is all adds to the budget. So this is all we can do, and this is all we have been doing at locations where we encountered sidewalk. Now I don't have photos, but yeah. So what I mean, we all know that. I think we understand that, but I just made a slide that the key benefits of doing that is to reduce surface pooling and trip hazards. If the sidewalk gets pooled with water because the properties are low, if it runs on all that, and then also for the inlets, it improves like sediment and debris capture and all that. If you build that small rain garden type of swale, and of course, if the after rain and all that, if the water gets drained, it's good for mothers who are walking their strollers and seniors taking a walk on this nicely sidewalk and all that. It lowers the sewer overflow risk as well if only water goes inside and all that. So these are some of the things. So now,
I'm sorry, can I interrupt?
yeah,
I'm sorry, I am late to this. I was getting home from work.
no, no, I'm sorry.
So I apologize if I go over things already talked about. Would it be possible to do the gutter with the drainage without the sidewalk? The sidewalk takes away so much from the yard, and it really ruptures the rustic characteristic of the block, which I think a lot of us treasure. I haven't talked to anyone who is in favor of the sidewalk specifically. Now I could be speaking out of turn. I don't know. Maybe there are a lot, but the people I've spoken with are not for it. And it seems like our block is not one that is very heavy foot traffic, not heavy vehicle traffic. Just 2 blocks over, you have another street, Wire, which leads directly to an elementary school, has a lot more car traffic, a lot faster car traffic, and a lot more foot traffic. And it just seems like any kind of project should be looking at the safety elements that would be helpful for, whereas our street has minimal impact on safety. Yes, it goes to a little park. I understand that, but that is really minimal compared to an elementary school.
That's fine, but you may know this already that all the new neighborhoods that are popping on the north portion of the county or elsewhere, Poplar and Silver Spring and all that big neighborhoods. I mean, everybody or the even the developers are like, they have to build sidewalks in front of all the properties now. Now, suppose
I don't understand what that has to do with our
it
neighborhood
it
where it
it
has no sidewalk anywhere and
it's
you're
a different
using
set of
our
mind
street as
making
almost
the.
a pilot program.
I know it's a different set of mind that, especially if you have like pedestrian generators in the area, we are making neighborhood accessible for people with disabilities and people who walk and all that. And also you have seen our effort to do the bike lanes and install wherever retrofit we can do, and all the things are changing. So what I'm saying is, sidewalk is not a bad thing, but it's a good thing to have, as long
I
as
am
we
not
are
questioning that.
addressing.
I'm questioning where you're deciding
But
to put it
again,
as an
the bottom
initial
line
measure.
is your decision. It's the residents' decision. Yes, you all can stand and say that no, we don't want it on North Street. Your word is final, not mine. Your word is final. My job is just the technical things, how I can handle and all that. That is why we have this very nice process of taking comments, the public hearings, and all that, because your opinion does matter. Yes, there are neighborhoods that have turned us down, the sidewalk, proposals and all that, and the traffic calming proposals, the speed humps proposals, the access restriction proposals. It all boils down to the residents, what they want and what they do not want. So, with that said, I think this particular sidewalk, I think before you got in, Lori Main, who's also present in this meeting, has said earlier that this sidewalk, it goes through the evaluation and it scored like 95% of that 100% criteria which Lori and her team has it. So this was evaluated. I think it's in close proximity to the Purple Line, the schools, and the other pedestrian generators and all that. So
I'm sorry,
this
it's not very close proximity. And the other place I was
walkable
talking about, for
distance.
example, is much closer.
Yeah. So that's
Like, I
the.
think I've seen plans, and I think they are putting a sidewalk on Wire. It's not just Caroline. There are other
No, no,
streets.
no, no. This
Yes.
entire area, it's posted on Montgomery County's website. If you, the website is going through some overhaul, making it accessible and all that. So they're here and there. But if you look at the Long Branch Station, the Piney Branch Station, Tacoma Park, the entire area which has like foot access where there are no sidewalks, we are putting them. So this is a very big effort going from Tacoma, Langley to Long Branch towards Silver Spring. We are going all the way up to Bethesda, all the adjoining streets, wherever the old adjoining streets are. If there are no sidewalk, we are proposing new sidewalks. And if there is existing sidewalks, we are doing maintenance, bringing all the ramps to compliance and all that. The long-term effort. But for this street, this is what we can do. That's what makes my presentation is. If so, but again, like I said, there is open comment period. Lori mentioned that in the at the beginning of the presentation. So I think it's still active. You can tonight, people who are in this forum can decide that, hey,
It's
we are
it's
going to just,
open through May 13th.
yeah, May 13th, and it's all your decision. But tonight is the only purely technical discussion of what happens to this street if we put sidewalk and what MCDOT can do. I know this is a street which has like grade towards the roadway. I know it's relatively flat, and at some instances the front lawn grades are lower, so there are definitely pooling issues. I completely concur with that. But what happens if we do a sidewalk, get rid of that asphalt curb, do a nice concrete curb like that, and then bring the inlet forward so that the gutter pan, it ends in that inlet and all that. Is that improvement or it's going to make the situation worse? That is
Okay.
the question which you need to ask yourself. And then you can also demand that, oh, KV, sorry for presenting this, but we like these options too. So if you want to go that route of constructing a sidewalk, so that's what your decision should influence looking at this technical presentation. And if you want anything from this presentation, please feel free to write in your comments uh, of the things which you want, and we'll definitely consider and revise the design and we'll install these things
I
for
do
you.
have one question about the French drains. One, how deep are they? And then also, if they get clogged up, that's going to be another problem. So who would be responsible for the French drains?
Highway, the maintenance, our maintenance crew. I mean, okay. So if you look at the sidewalk, this sidewalk here, 3 foot or 4 foot green space and a 5 foot sidewalk, the right of way line is way back there. Anything here installed will be maintained by us. However,
How deep is the
however,
French
I'll be
drain?
very honest with you. If we decide to go with this, the pocket swales and all that, if you have some nice plantings and if you ask us to do watering to it, the Division of Highway Services may not send folks. So I have seen in the neighborhoods where the rain gardens are, example, Arcola Avenue, and there are several other streets which we are going around and doing rain gardens. So local communities take things in their hand, and this actually doesn't need any water or something. It's all there, but if there's a cleaning, clearing, beautification, and all that. It's typically done by neighborhoods. But the sidewalk maintenance, and if there is a trench drain, and you as a resident are taking your dog and walking and notice that, oh, there's a lot of debris in it. Pick up the phone, cell phone, call 311, come out and clean this drain, the trench drain. It's clogged. Or if you see that where the new gutter pan is, and then if you see something here, and you can ask the environmental division, hey, I don't want this hole to be like that, debris going in, come and install here the bags and the wire mesh and all that. They come and do it for you. They don't want this to be clogged either. So this is all this maintenance, that sidewalk maintenance, and if we install a trench drain behind it, it's all under MCDOT.
So will the road actually be repaired also during this?
To be honest with you, I already answered that, but I will answer it again. Our inspectors and all that, we are the sidewalk team, and if we see major flaw on the pavement, we do notify Division of Highway Services, which is part of MCDOT anyways.
Okay.
Pavement management, pavement maintenance, it's a separate division. And you can call them tonight, ask them to evaluate, or at least find out, hey, when is my street due for resurfacing? Or can you at least, if it is like, okay, they have I was told they have a software and a system, it kind of like spits out, and then they, every 2, 3 years, they assess the condition and they upgrade the numbers. It has to reach some numbers. So you can at least say, okay, not resurfacing, but at least do the deep patches, fix the pavement, please. You can make several requests, or can you please add this road for slurry sealing? Let's make the top surface tighter. Let's slurry seal at least. Give us the patches or the resurfacing, entire resurfacing street. I mean, you guys know the history. I don't know when it was last time resurfaced, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, or 8 years ago. I don't know, but maybe a while ago. But please feel free to call them, write to them, and
I've been here 12 years and I haven't seen it done. So
I
It
agree.
hasn't.
I agree. I agree.
Okay, so
But
we need to
you can
send our
always call.
comments to you.
But to answer to your question, we don't do the pavement maintenance while we are up there. It's a separate division, separate program, and all that.
Okay, I'm sorry, I have to do another one. On Franklin Avenue, the sidewalks were put in, and we noticed that the width was reduced of the street. So now the cars are parking on the sidewalks. Are you aware of that?
No.
Yeah. So that's
That's
my
an
concern here
enforcement.
also.
Mhm.
because the
You
road is
mean you
not
mean
wide.
okay, the one which you see the slide on my screen, you're saying that the people are getting their right
On the
tires
hard
up
curve,
here and then they park on the street?
They
I
park
mean,
on the sidewalk, up on,
does Franklin
literally
have
on
a
the sidewalk.
curved curve?
oh my goodness.
Yes.
It has a
First
curved
of all,
curve, so
first of
that's what
all,
they're
first of
doing.
all, it's against the law.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, but
But
again, it's so difficult to get trucks like the FedEx
Mhm.
trucks or the UPS trucks through, and their people are considerate with parking on each side. They recognize that the street is not wide at all.
yeah.
So that would be one other thing that I would be concerned about, that people would just start parking on the sidewalk.
Well,
Also,
will you be taking any street or just
Mm,
lawn? Like, will the street actually get more narrow from this?
no.
No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
not at
No.
all.
The lawns.
No.
so just our lawns.
Yeah, because you understand
What?
the people that are on the east side up on the hill, they don't have driveways, most of them, so they have to
Yeah,
park
we
in the
don't.
street.
They park
So
on the
we gotta
street.
make sure we don't
They
narrow.
continue to park. See, with this design, okay, your asphalt curve, if you see my cursor, your asphalt curve is here like this. So we'll get rid of this and we'll put this concrete. And to be from a traffic engineering principle, the width of the road is measured from the face of the curb. So the gutter pan is still
Okay.
part of the street because it is supposed to be flushed with the top of the asphalt grid.
So my neighbor and I share a beautiful rock. Um, and also he has a pipes coming out from the sub pump. What would happen with the pipes from the sub pump and the rock?
Where it comes out.
So
Can you give me just okay, if you have
when
time, I'll pull up something.
Yeah,
when
when
they
she says rock,
install,
it's a boulder.
so
It's not just a rock.
basically they'll move it when they excavate
We'll
and
move.
then
Yeah.
put it back when the sidewalk after the sidewalk is installed. So
Wow.
everything, all the pipes, anything that you guys have installed for drainage yourselves, that'll be put back.
Yeah. We always do that.
Kim,
And
don't
how
you think the
long
rock is
will
far
we
back
be
enough?
without some pump pipes dumping out so that our
It'll
basement doesn't
come out
back up?
through the curb. So like there'll be like a hole in the curb where your pipe comes and it'll end at the curb. So the water can still go back in there.
So you are
But there won't be a
you're
period of
saying that
time
you
that our
have
sump pump pipes won't
no, let me
empty
answer that. Your home has a sump
No,
pump
no.
which has an outlet which is coming through your front yard, right? My understanding right?
into the street.
Into the street.
For
So
the curb.
we can still do that, take care of it below the sidewalk. Depends on the grade though. We don't want to go higher up on the pipe, or we
You
just
can't.
go under the sidewalk and we can bring it to the gutter
There's
pan at the bottom of the
there's so
face of
much
the
echoing. I can't hear this.
with the face of the curb, we can always have an opening and bring it out on the gutter pan, I said.
Right.
We can always help you with that, with the local issues.
Okay.
Yeah, the piping will come all the way out to the face of the curb and there'll be a hole in the curb, so it'll still be draining out.
So it will have a weep hole, which your
Mhm.
pipe will come in, and then that weep hole will put water into the gutter pan with the flowing and all that.
So you
If
guys
the
will reinstall the pipes, or is that on the
Yes.
homeowners? Okay, you guys
No,
will
no, no,
reinstall
we
it.
put it back.
from the right of way, we will buy the pipe and we will install it into the gutter pan, taking the flow back south where the inlet is through our gutter pan. And when we do the aprons, it's no cost to you. We will redo it at our cost. A nice concrete apron in counties standard. A walkway, if there is a walkway where the sidewalk is being proposed, and then we go back, tie in, and then bring it nicely onto the sidewalk. It's all in fresh concrete. If you
Another neighbor that's not here right now has a grate that she's installed in the curb cut,
yeah.
whatever the driveway thing,
Mhm.
that then drains underground to the storm drain. Like, will you guys be replacing that?
If she has installed a drain in the edge at the end of the front lawn and then install a PVC pipe to the closest inlet, we can redo her system
We
because
have that as well.
yeah.
Because that's just what she installed has really made a huge difference.
But if you remember one of the slide which I showed, a trench drain between the lawn and the sidewalk. So if there's something like that, then that could handle it if it is there are
Did they
different
talk
types
about
of
fences,
different
if they're
deep
responsible
trench
for the
drains,
fences?
and then it will take the
You want to ask about that?
Well,
stormwater
this
back
street
into
was
the inlet.
this is across from the driveway that comes like a waterfall straight to her house. So the one we talked about earlier, it's
Yeah,
that house.
the house across the street, you were saying?
Yeah, the house that has the driveway with the waterfall directly at her house.
Yeah.
Install this special drainage system, spend thousands of dollars. So we want to make sure that stays in place. Or
No,
is
that we'll
Yeah,
redo it.
everything's
We will
replaced.
redo it. There are also
Mhm.
things like if you are saying specifically that location is an issue because right across from there the neighbor has a very steep driveway, the property sits up, the water gushes out across the street and entering this lawn. Instead of gutter pan, what we do is at the face of the curb and the gutter pan, instead of that concrete gutter pan, we will have a metal grid. Below there, we'll have a cavity or a channel flow back to where the inlet is. So we can redo her system very easily. We can.
okay.
There are innovative ways of handling the stormwater flow.
Okay. Another question I have is about some of us have fences that would be within the 9 feet. The fence we have, we've had for 20 years, and it was built on the footprint of a fence that was there for 20 years before that. I assume that fence will have to be moved. As the homeowner, will I be responsible for that?
No, we will move it. Okay, the our principle is if it is found on county's right of way as part of sidewalk construction, all the fences will be relocated at the property line at MCDOT's expense.
What about bushes?
And if during the move,
Bushes
if
do
the
not get
post is really
replaced.
rusted or broken or something like that, or wooden, weak wood, or then we'll bring new one. We
I
have done it
saw
in the past.
I saw a note on the initial plans that you were gonna somehow work the sidewalk around my tree.
Yeah,
Was
if
I
there is a
missing
right of way, what we do is, in order to preserve trees, we hand dig and then make some
okay? I hope
porous
so.
material and wood.
I'll be devastated if you take my tree down. I'm gonna go out there and climb it, not let you cut it down.
Yeah. Well, if it's in the plans to be preserved, it definitely will be.
Well,
They won't look
I
at that
saw that,
far.
but unfortunately they're showing the tree in the wrong place, which made me feel not quite as confident.
No.
I'd also like, if it's not in the plans to be preserved, I want to argue that. Like, I want to keep any tree that might not be there. Like, trees are good. We should keep them.
Some trees can be
Gonna move
preserved.
it?
You can contact, I'll put his email address in the chat. Daniel Hagos Komara is our construction representative. You can schedule a field meeting with him and he'll be able to look at the location because it really depends on the health of the tree, the location of the tree.
The
He'll
root
look at it
system.
and be able
Yeah.
to tell you if it can be preserved. Some trees can be preserved by reducing or eliminating the green space, putting the sidewalk at the back of the curb. So that might be another thing that you would want to maybe request in your comments. That can easily be done. Reduce the green space and just put the sidewalk at the back of curb to mitigate those impacts. But Daniel will be able to tell you, we do have an alternative material that's flexible, porous, and it can be laid on tree roots, even those that are exposed. So if the trunk is exactly where the sidewalk would need to be replaced or like right beside it, it's questionable that we could preserve that. We may be able to go behind the tree, but then the question is, how far back, would you be comfortable with the sidewalk? So there's options, but you want to schedule a field meeting to discuss it.
All right. Well, I'll have to thanks for sharing that info. When you drop
Yeah, I'll put the email address in the chat for you.
Thank you. I'm pretty worried about these like alternative plans not actually being real alternatives. It's just like ideas. So what is the process here? Like, do we say we don't like the plan as it is? The group would like us to stop, pause the project, and get it revamped with these alternatives as part of that plan. Because I think we're pretty clearly not cool with the plan as it stands. Like we have drainage concerns. And yes, there are some things that can be done, but they're not budgeted. So like that's not really helpful at all.
No,
I mean,
that's
you
a good
can,
question. If you
yeah.
want to go forward with it, do write us down in the comment letter that a presentation which was done on April 27th
Mhm.
has indicated these elements, and then can you please issue a redesigned plan and share with all the residents how the stormwater management, these elements that were introduced on 4/27th meeting, can you indicate that on the plans and how it was and all that? Indicate all
And
those
let's say
details
they
and revise the
decide,
plans.
like we submit these comments and they're like, we don't really care. We still want to do it the way we want to do it. I worry that like if the comment period closes and they're like, we heard your comments, we're still doing what we want. Like
Well,
it'll be kind of like
No,
backed into a
no.
corner.
if you
If you ask
oppose
for
it,
these
we
elements,
have
we
to
will
have a
definitely do
public
it.
hearing.
Yeah.
So if you oppose it, we have to hold a public hearing. If you say, I want these things that KB discussed during the meeting, and if not, I'm opposing this project, then we'll have to have a public hearing. The plans will get changed in the interim with things that they are willing to do to try and mitigate concerns, and then we'll hold the public hearing and you'll be able to offer testimony. After that, and then that's followed by another 4-week period for written testimony. Written and oral carry the same weight, so you can do either or both. Thereafter, the hearing officer will make recommendations to the director, and it could be approved after the public hearing without drainage installations because it is within the county right of way, and we don't actually require approval or, according to the statute, our job is to enhance safety, and that's what this project is for. So it could be ultimately approved.
All right.
By, but if
Can
it's like
did you
most
already share your
politicians, they're
like
not going to approve that, I would think,
okay.
Usually it's a 50% bar.
Okay. Thank you. Did you share with us already? I may have forgotten, but the like rubric you used to get to your 95 points out of 100.
Sure. Yeah, I can show you on the app. Let me just share my screen.
And I'm sure you've been seeing in the chat, we have lots of questions about the two accidents, like the validity of those driving this. Like one was a drunk driver, wouldn't have helped. You did share some information about the cyclist being hit, but we're also like cyclists aren't using the sidewalks. I know they're allowed. Kim and I are both avid cyclists. We don't use them. It's actually not safe. You get hit more often by cars when you bike on the sidewalk.
Is it allowed? I thought it was not allowed.
I looked this up actually when this came through. It depends on the county and the state.
Yeah, no, they're allowed. In Montgomery County, you can ride on the sidewalks.
It is still very dangerous for pedestrians. It's actually worse for pedestrians and cyclists.
It is. I agree.
Yeah. So, okay. So here is the Carolyn Avenue request that was received. And here's your prioritization. The score is 95 on the pedestrian level of comfort. It is undesirable.
How did you guys come up with that number? Someone just like walked it, or someone
I can give you a link to the pedestrian level of comfort website, and you can read about how it was generated. I believe it was done by Montgomery Planning. But so we use it. Half of the score, 50%, is safety, which 25% is pedestrian level of comfort. The other 25% is whether or not there is a crash history. And so this one has had crashes. There are more than 3 schools. So then 30% are the trip generators.
3 schools.
Those include schools, shopping centers, community centers. This means that there's more than 3 schools. I believe there's like 5 schools within
the walking shed
radius. Yeah, within the walk shed. There are shopping centers to which you can walk within a 1-mile radius. There is a community center. There are parks. There's a swimming pool, library, and over 100 public transit stops. So that was 30%. You got 100% of the 50% category and 100% of the 30% category. And then it is in an equity emphasis area. So that's how we got to 95 out of 100. The equity emphasis area is 20%. So
I want
And
to
what's
ask
the
about the
radi-
crash. Oops, I'm sorry. I want to ask about the crash thing again. The
Mhm.
incident. I
it's
can't
just
believe I've
if
never
there
heard of it.
have been
Well,
crashes, it's
here's what I
not.
want to point out. Caroline Avenue is a really long street. We're just one
Mhm.
little part of it, and the Caroline north of Franklin is a much wider, much busier street. And I question if those incidents didn't happen up
Well, there was one here when a bicyclist was on Carolyn and somebody turned into him during daylight
on
in
Franklin.
September. And then there was one right here. This one was probably a drunk driver because it
I know
was
it
after
was.
bar
I
hours.
didn't know about that one.
So
I know.
It was.
it was okay.
Oh, yeah.
So
So should
yeah.
With the police involved, right?
But no
Mhm.
sidewalk's going to help that.
But
No,
by the
no.
way, Zoe, the Caroline Avenue north of Franklin Avenue also has a sidewalk proposal. I have the plans and I have a
Yeah.
meeting tomorrow, our internal meeting.
Well, their
That is
street is
being done as
huge.
part of BRT.
Okay.
It's a
BRT.
wider
Yeah.
street, though. It's wider up there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
could take more street up there
Yeah.
rather
Well,
than
the
north.
sidewalk's
And
not going to take away from the street at all.
Well, like
It's
up
just
there, it probably would be smarter if that's how they did it, because their street is really wide.
yeah. That could be.
Okay, so from here, what we need to do is go ahead and give all of our comments so that you've
Yeah.
got something in writing from us. And Lori, I know
Mhm.
I couldn't talk initially, but I really, really appreciate your willingness to reopen this.
Yeah, of
Because,
course. Of
yeah, no,
course.
we're
Yeah.
grateful about that.
Yeah, we are. Thank you.
Yeah. No, absolutely. We
And the
couldn't
comments you're saying go to the e
You
the
can
email
send
to
them to me
Daniel.
personally. You can
no,
send,
no,
well,
no.
the email
With
to
Daniel,
Daniel is to request a field meeting.
field assessment, please.
You can send your comments to me directly, or you can submit them on the comment form, which is posted on the project website, and I can give you that as well. Let's see.
Yeah, actually, when I tried to go to the websites with these,
Mhm.
it
Yeah, they didn't work.
didn't work. They
I
said they
tested them before I sent them to the print shop. I do apologize. I don't know what could
I
have
don't know. I
happened
just did it
there.
before the meeting and I couldn't. It said doesn't exist or something like that.
Oh, you know why? Because last
website.
Monday they changed the
Ooh.
entire county websites, all of them.
Oh no.
So they all have it where it used to say like the link for our websites was dot-dte/whatever sidewalk. Now it's spelled out to make it more accessible. So
That's why
it's
The
yeah.
entire website got all of a sudden revamped to make it more accessible. So all the old links, the QR codes and all that, they will take you
Here
away.
is
Okay. So
the new
clarify
one.
with me again. Where do I comment?
Here's I'm going to put the new website in the chat for you.
Yeah, but I can't.
There we go. And let me give you a QR too.
I don't know why they didn't do redirects for you guys. That would have been nice.
I know. I know. My son is our IT guy, and I was so upset that Google wouldn't redirect it. And he's like, well, they need to catch up. He was like, you have to calm down. It's okay. It's like, no. But yeah.
And you'll share the recording. If they download the transcription, would you also please share that? Because then I can pull out some
Absolutely.
comments from this conversation and write them down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
So thank you again for joining us tonight. I mean, coming back from work and all that from our busy schedules. So at least we discussed the the technically or from engineering perspective, how we can help with the situation. But definitely these old neighborhoods, if the grades of the homes are, if they're sitting lower than the roadway, has an issue, especially if you have like long front yards and all that with water pooling and drainage matters. I completely understand that. But this is what we can offer. At least there are some options, and please consider that. And then, of course, write your comments and have your internal discussion community, within our all neighbors talking to each other, and then whatever it is, just write to us.
Great. Thank you for putting the presentation together also.
Thank you so much. So much.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Have a wonderful evening, everyone.
Thank you, you too. Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.